Well, I'm outside for a little bit of a news update. Today's let's have a look, it's the 16th of January 2024, and it's warmed up a little bit, and so I can sit outside. In fact, it's around about 20 degrees. I've just come and sat down here. And in the news, well, I've been talking about the cost of living and how that's impacting people on the island, and the unions and the government now have agreed that the minimum wage should be increased, and so from this month it's going to go up to 5%. So the minimum wage will be €1,134. That's paid 14 times a year. There's 2 extra payments, so it's not 12 months a year, it's 14 months. The 2 extra payments, one's paid in the summer in June, and the other one is paid just before Christmas in November, December time. It's not a huge amount of money. It's going to mean about another 50 something euros, 54 euros for each person. But as they say, every little bit helps. And here in Mallorca, that will affect around about 30,000 workers. And it'll be backdated to the 1st of January, so they will get all the money that's due to them. Prices of Mallorca homes, they have risen 55% in the last 5 years, something else which impacts people who live on the island. And sales are expected to fall, but not the prices. New house building in the 3rd quarter of last year was 379. There are only 379 new properties approved for building, and they reckon they need about 1,750 per quarter. So not building enough properties at the moment. Rentals, they are very expensive here. I've said that in the past, and a recent survey has shown that the Balearic Island has closed 2023 as the region with the most expensive rents in the country. And if you work it out per square metre, so each square metre of an apartment in the Balearic Islands costs an average of about 16.2 euros for every square metre, where in the average for the whole of Spain it's only just over 11 euros. You might tell, I said the temperature's high, but it's very windy out here. If you've been watching our videos, we've been down to San Telmo recently, and one of the things that caught my eyes down there were the number of motorhomes and caravans that have been parked in the car park down there. There's not really anywhere for them to go, and that was organised by some touring club, some caravan type club. But the government sees this as an issue, and they have decided that they're going to try and do something about it. So caravans will have authorised places in the municipalities of Majorca where they can actually go and they can actually stay overnight. And they reckon there's about 3,000 of these vehicles on the island, and there's really only 1 or 2 places that officially can actually take them. Well, they're hopefully going to increase that number. They're not thinking of making big caravan parks like you see in other parts. They're looking at only 10 places, so only 10 caravans in each one of these, or 10 motorhomes. We've now seen an increase in the amount of flu in particular, and COVID, particularly with the return of children to schools, and masks have been brought back in. Masks only in medical centres or anything to do with medicals. So if you go to the hospital, the clinic, we went to the clinic this morning, and yes, we had to wear a mask to go in. Even in a pharmacy, we went to the pharmacy, and we saw that the people behind the desks, they were all wearing a mask. People were walking in who hadn't got a mask, and I hadn't got a mask with me, and you weren't being stopped. Here in Mallorca, we don't have the issue that they've got in some parts of the mainland, and the government here has said, "Why are you doing this to us?" And they've put it in the hands of the lawyers now, and the lawyers now will decide whether it is mandatory. At the moment, it is, but hopefully that will be taken away. Here in Mallorca, we only got about 270 cases per 100,000, which is considered to be relatively low. But there is a concern that that might increase, and beds have been reserved for emergencies in the clinics. San Juan de Deo, which is where I had my knee injection, I've had 30 beds reserved there just in case there's a resurgence of the flu epidemic and they need them. There's another 24 beds available in Sonyatsa, and so they seem to be very well prepared here if it does increase, but hopefully they won't be needed. Something else we saw, you might know that I'm a former teacher, retired teacher now, but students in the Baleares have been told you can't take your phones to school anymore, you can't use them in school. So Balearic students have accepted this ban, so the children themselves have been consulted. I think perhaps they should have just been told. And they will not be allowed to have their phones in class. This applies to all the state schools, not the private schools. What will the penalties be? Well, they get them confiscated, but that shouldn't be over an extended number of days, as the phones are used, quite important to have that communication with parents and so on. One thing that I'm relieved to be able to tell you is that the free transport in the Balearic Islands has been restored, and that's for Palma as well as the rest of the island. Though the 43 million that the government has given to the Balearic Islands is supposed to be not enough, and Palma has said that this money will run out probably by June, July. And so they don't think they'll be able to extend the free transport beyond that. Again, that's just something we're going to have to wait and see. For people coming from the UK, Jet2 are launching a new flight, which is from Liverpool. They're going to have 7 weekly flights from Liverpool. It's an airport we've used, the John Lennon Airport, pretty much every day of the week. So that's quite handy to have somebody else flying out of that area. Our airport is incredibly busy. In fact, the Balearic Islands in general, so the Balearic Islands consisting of Majorca, Ibiza and Menorca, have had 44 million passengers in 2023. That's a huge number, and has increased. Many people are telling me that Mallorca is becoming too expensive, but people are still coming. For our airport in particular, just the one in Palma, over 31 million passengers, and they are the best figures ever for the island, for Mallorca. Comparing it with 2022, it's a growth of 8.9%. Continuing on a transport issue, the taxis have received a bit of competition from Uber, and it's not gone down very well. And one of the things the government's trying to do now to alleviate some of the issues that taxis have is to create an app so that it's easier to book taxis and order taxis. And so over the next few weeks and months they will be trialling this, preparing this. There's some money being set aside for it, but it won't be starting this year. It'll be something for 2025 if it all goes according to plan. On the weather front, we've had some really cold weather recently, and there's been up to 10 centimetres of snow on the mountain. I haven't actually seen it, but I've seen pictures of it. But that's all gone now, I would imagine. It's all melted because we've now got this really wonderful spring-like weather. And temperatures today are pretty much 20 degrees throughout the island, and are likely to be that over the next few days. Today is the 16th, tomorrow is the 17th, that's San Antonio. There's lots of things going on all over the island for San Antonio. It's one of the biggest winter fiestas on the island, with lots going on in all the villages. They have little bonfires and barbecues, lots of dancing and singing, all sorts of stuff going on. And that will be happening today and tomorrow, in fact, all through the week. And then at the end of the week, on Saturday, we've got San Sebastian, which is the patron saint of Palma. So it's normally a holiday in Palma, but it's falling on a Saturday. So there'll still be lots of things going on, particularly on the eve of San Sebastian on the 19th. So Friday night there will be parties all around. Big van going past. There'll be parties all around Palma with bands playing in the different squares. So lots and lots of things going on there. Tonight, by the time this video goes out, we'll already have had the cup match, which is an away match, so we're not going. This one's in Tenerife. Not so easy for us to get to Tenerife at this time of the year. You have to fly to Madrid and then Madrid to Tenerife, so it takes you half a day or a day to get there. But it's a late match as well, so our time, it doesn't start, the kickoff isn't until 10 o'clock at night. So hopefully we'll be able to catch that on the TV and see how Mallorca progress. Mallorca's still got lots of problems with injuries and suspensions. And one of our best players, Maffeo, actually went for an operation in Barcelona yesterday, so we're wishing him well, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. It's supposed to be just a small nick that he's had done in his meniscus and his knee, and hopefully he'll only be out for a few weeks and then be back in the side. Well, I think that's it for the news for us today, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.